Our lawmakers have cast their ballots to choose India's next president. Voting closed about 30 minutes ago. Results will be announced on Thursday. A BJP-backed candidate, Droupadi Murmu from the National Democratic Alliance, and the opposition's Yashwant Sinha are vying for this largely ceremonial position. Ms. Murmu currently predicted to have a clear edge over her rival with about 60% of votes in her favour. If elected, Ms. Murmu would be India's second female president and the first from a tribal community. It comes as critics say minority rights have diminished under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government. And Yashwant Sinha joins us live from Delhi. Yashwant, Ms. Murmu with 60% of the votes in her favour, on track for victory.
Absolutely. She's been the frontrunner from day one because the Bharatiya Janata Party holds a large majority in both houses of the parliament and also has a government in most states in the country. So if we look at the indirect way in which the president is elected, where people don't vote for the president, but the lawmakers do, most of them belong from the Bharatiya Janata Party. And that's why Ms. Murmu has a clear head start ahead of her opponent, Mr. Yashwant Sinha. There's also some reports coming through that even opposition party members in several states, for example, in Assam and in Madhya Pradesh, are voting for Ms. Murmu in a cross-party voting, which is not seen quite regularly in Indian politics. So that's only adding more and more heft to her nomination. And it's analysts say that it's highly likely that she will indeed become the first president of the country. Her opponent, Mr. Yashwant Sinha, who was once a BJP leader, a senior member of the party, also served as a minister in two separate cabinets in the government, is her main opposition candidate. But so far, he's been lacking that thrust in his campaign, and several opposition parties have pledged their allegiance to him. But analysts say that it's highly unlikely that he will pull enough in the final few days to triumph over Ms. Murmu.
All right, whether or not she wins, and although it's very likely that she will win, her nomination itself is significant. Why is that so?
Well, because she belongs from the tribal community. This is one of the most highly marginalized community in India. It's not a small community, so to speak. Millions of people belong to the tribal community. She belongs from the Santhal community. She served widely in the eastern state of Orissa. She served as a junior minister in the state, and she was later appointed as the governor of the state of Jharkhand, which also, again, has a very substantial tribal population. She's worked with one of the most marginalized communities in the country. And analysts say that this is one of the messages that the Bharatiya Janata Party is trying to send to the people out there, that it stands very firmly behind some of the weakest sections of the society. And that's what makes her nomination all this crucial. And it's highly likely that she will go on to become the first president of India who comes from the tribal community. And there have been reports coming from her local village from the state of Jharkhand, where she served, and that people are absolutely ecstatic about the possibility of her winning. But there are also critics who point out that the real problems of the tribal community may not be solved by her election, but there are also those who say that it's a start, and a good one at that.
And thanks so much for all that, Yashwant Sinha, with all those updates live from New Delhi.